The following program is furnished by K1 International LLC and is responsible for its content. Now, from the 5th floor Cumulus Studios in downtown Dallas, it's time for Inside Real Estate. Here's your host, Michael Kruizinga.
Good morning, Texas. How we doing out there? Welcome to your Sunday morning WrestleMania weekend. How about you out there? How about you wrestling fans out there? Got a WrestleMania. Get excited, get pumped.
I didn't realize that they still had those.
They do. Absolutely. And, it's funny. We were talking about NCAA, and they were talking about the economic impact for the women's side here in Dallas. They're quoting like $30 million in economic impact. I always love to know where they come up with these numbers. Back when I was running, national event tours, we did those types of studies, and I was still a little bit like, really? And I was behind the tour itself, and I was like, where did we come up with these numbers? And you kind of wonder, like, how you arrive.
Did I eat out that much?
How do you arrive to that number? If you've got 10,000 people in the arena, and I don't know. Some of the large events, I get it for sure. Some of the numbers that they're saying, but they're never that high.
No, you wouldn't think so. But I mean, you figure 10,000 people. How much are they paying for their room and board or the hotel room or whatever? Mm-hmm. But all the shopping and all that stuff, no.
Definitely not. But good try. Make it sound good. Make it sound good. We're bringing a $1 billion economic impact event to your city.
They're over there saying, "Oh, they're eating out. They're doing all this." I was like, if you knew my family when I was growing up, we had bologna sandwiches everywhere.
Yeah, the cooler, rolled the cooler everywhere.
Yes. That styrofoam cooler that you had to keep purchasing because it kept breaking.
Didn't want to pay for, bottled water. Like, hey, you get that courtesy cup of water. It's free. And you get a cup of ice, and you go to the fountain, you fill it up. Oh, goodness. What do we got today, folks? Hey, we got a big show for you. We're going to be talking to the folks over at Perma Pier Foundation Repair of Texas. We're talking to the folks over at Hydrojet Walk-In Tubs. We got some mortgage talk to do with Terri Waggoner. And, of course, we got Richard, of course, here live in studio. We're going to do some insurance talk with him as well. By the way, here for all of your real estate needs, the website is InsideRealEstateRadio.com. You can go there for previous show podcasts, special interviews, and all that good stuff. Actually had a great show last week. Special guest, Henry S. Miller III was here, and that was a great conversation with him. I loved hearing about his cube was next to Roger Staubach's cube. That was a great story. And folks, if you missed that, go back to the archive page, catch that interview, because Roger Staubach, working in insurance in the off season back in the 70s, it's a great story, and you want to hear it from him. So go back and catch that if you missed it last week. And then, of course, the week before, had a really good interview with Mark Meckler, conventionofstates.com.
Yes.
And so if you're...
But I was talking to someone about the Henry S. Miller interview, and they were like, "Who's that?" I was like, "You're in commercial real estate, right?" Yes. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
You just need to
are they under this interview. Yeah, they were under a rock.
Yes.
For the last 100 years. like the largest commercial real estate company in all of Dallas, and they didn't know who it is. All right. Go back to sleep, person, whoever you are.
You just stay focused on whatever you're focused on, and we'll be okay.
That's right. Stay focused on your Facebook. Play with your Facebook. What else is going on? So, hey, we got a great show. Yeah, by the way, don't forget the website. I'm here for all of your real estate needs. All of our partners are here for all of your real estate needs. Hey, by the way, if you're trying to sell right now, keep in mind we have vendors for you that can take care of repairs, upgrades, updates, and they will take payment at closing. And so that way there's no out-of-pocket expense. You can still benefit by selling it at a higher price with the updates, etc. No out-of-pocket. It's a win-win. Pay at closing. And if you're buying out there, hey, super competitive. You want to get with me to look at properties that are, not the ones the entire Metroplex are looking at. And
Absolutely.
So you got to dig deep for those. I got one right now working that's in receivership. And, there's some things that actually need to happen, with this house as well. And so, folks, you need someone that knows what they're doing if you're on the buy side.
We were talking about that earlier. The worst thing that you can do is ever teach your realtor how to do their job. You don't want to be the person that they learn with.
Exactly. And if you are buying right now, here's the thing. Think about this, though, and I've had this with some clients. It keeps coming up from time to time. If you're buying a house, if you want to stay at around $400,000, that's great. But if you're not willing to go to $410,000, if you're willing to spend $400,000, then you need to think about, are you really willing to spend $400,000 or is it really $375,000? Because if we're talking about $400,000 and we found your dream house and you can't spend $410,000 for it to win the bid, then maybe you shouldn't be looking at $400,000. Maybe it needs to be $375,000. You really need to think about this when you're thinking about your top end. Then look, we're going to have to overbid in most scenarios unless you're really over $500,000. You're over $500,000, different story. But even around $400,000, $450,000, depending on where we're at, there's neighborhoods in Dallas where it's hard to get in under $400,000 or under $450,000, depending on where the neighborhood is. And so you're gonna need to overbid. So you need to understand that it's throughout the Metroplex. So we need to figure out your situation. Can you overbid? Can you not? And then let's figure out the right price range where we need to look. So, but think about this. Let's just say $10,000 or $15,000 overbid. You're not willing to do it. That's maybe a few dollars a month in your mortgage payment difference over the course of 30 years. So found your dream home, but oh no, $10,000 is going to kill the deal. Do you want to win or do you not? And you need to decide on, are we just putting an offer in to put an offer in?
Or do you truly want it?
Or do we want it and do we want to win? Because I'm not interested in seeing you pay more than you have to. Trust me. I'm looking at it as if I'm buying it myself and I don't want to pay more than I have to. So I'm going to help you not overpay, but at the same time, do you want to win?
But that $10 is what, like $6, maybe $7?
Yeah.
A month?
Yeah, exactly.
And so, yes. And doing what I do is in being able to see what Zillow is saying that the home is worth and or what it's listed on NMLS and what they actually purchased it for, because when we're looking at insurance, we always want to go with the purchase amount. It is very rare that the purchase amount isn't higher than what the asking price was. It's very rare.
Yeah, exactly.
And, I may see it 1 out of every 10 times. That's it.
Yeah. Folks just need to understand where the market is. It's not going to change. It's only going to get worse over the next 5 to 7 years as more and more people move in, and we're not seeing a lot of relief in the new builds. That relief won't be here for quite a while. So need to figure out what you want to do. And there's a lot of nice apartments out there, and some of these clients come to me like, the closets in this home, aren't as big as the ones in my apartment. I was like, okay, well, then let's stay in the apartment. Oh, no, we can't stand it. It's too loud, this, that, and the other. Well, you might need to go with a smaller closet. You might need to update the kitchen. It depends on where your price point is. If you're coming to me and your price point's $225, you're in a tough zone. Expect that you may need to make some updates to your house. And if you're expecting that same great apartment that you had, that you're paying $1,750 for a month, well, stay in the apartment and keep getting your rent going up and up and up.
Do you know anyone that has ever kept the house exactly the way it was when they first moved in? I don't.
Yeah, just, you'll update it. You'll make it yours. You can make bigger closets. You can make that whole bedroom over there your closet if you want to.
And I've seen that.
Yeah, exactly. Shoes.
It's amazing how many that they can have.
Yeah, it's beyond me.
My wife wears 3 pairs of shoes, and I cannot even begin to tell you how many pairs she has, but I've only seen 3 on her feet.
Yeah. I've got a few pairs that I wear. We got, us guys, we have the nice brown pair, the nice black pair. I wear mostly my work boots most of the time, when I'm out in the field. I've got a couple pairs of nice boots, and then a bunch of flip-flops, I guess.
Yes.
But, that's it for guys, right?
Yes.
Pretty much. I don't know what they do with all them things. And then of course they only last a few times, then they got to get all new pairs.
Oh yeah, it looked great in the store and they felt great in the store, but once I got it home and I saw it in this light, I just don't like it anymore.
And women's shoes are designed to destroy their feet. Literally they're out for 2 hours in any pair of women's shoes, and their feet come back and they're like all red and blistered, and it's like these shoes are just designed to destroy your feet. Who wants to wear shoes that are uncomfortable?
That's the part I just don't get.
I don't get it either.
At all.
I don't get it either. But anyway, that's that. Well, nothing like talking about shoes. Hey, folks, we're going to take a short break. Then we're going to come on back and do a little foundation repair talk. See you in a few.
The Savage Nation.
Radical feminists have almost destroyed the West. It is the radical feminists who went after the white heterosexual Christian male from the get-go. They are the ones who conducted a war against masculinity in men.
2 till 5 every afternoon on News and Information 570 KLIF.
When it comes to your mortgage and refinance needs, trust Terri Waggoner, our resident mortgage expert on Inside Real Estate Radio. With a wide range of financing options and competitive interest rates, you can trust Terri for a fast and reliable loan process with superior service. Go to terriwaggoner.com or 469-644-4818 today. Supreme Lending is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID number 207089, 6730 Horizon Road, Suite B, Heath, Texas, 75032. SML Mortgage Banker Registration, Residential Mortgage Loan Originator. Folks, it's Mike Kruizinga here with Inside Real Estate Sports Entertainment on 570 AM KLIF. Did you know that virtually all of us will experience a fall in the bathtub at some point in our life? Well, statistically, it's true, and as we get older, a fall in the bathtub can spell disaster, as we just can't recover the same as we did in our younger years. Don't let something as silly and preventable as a bathtub fall put an end to all your special plans you have lined up for your golden years. Invest in a Hydrojet walk-in bathtub. Made in the USA and with the lowest step in the industry, Hydrojet walk-in tubs has your best interest at heart. With no commissioned sales staff or huge warehouse overhead, they build and sell direct to you, saving you thousands of dollars over their competitors. Call Randy, my friend and owner of Hydrojet walk-in tubs, at 855-980-8827 or go to hydrojetwalkintubs.com. You'll be able to speak with Randy directly, and make sure to mention you heard about it on the radio. And for you veterans out there, there's a grant available for you to cover the majority of the cost of a walk-in tub, making it darn near free. Call Randy at 855-980-8827 or go to hydrojetwalkintubs.com today.
2 great signals. 1 great way to keep up with what's happening in your world. KLIF News and Information, 570 AM and 96.3 HD2.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey folks, we are back. InsideRealEstateRadio.com is the website. Mike Kruizinga here, your host. Time to do a little foundation talk with our good friends over at Perma Pier, Foundation Repair of Texas. Their website, permapier.com. We got Jared Benson here in the studio. How we doing, Jared?
Doing great, Mike. Glad to be back. Glad to be back.
Good to see you. So what's going on these days over at Perma Pier?
Well, I've actually got a special guest with me today. Philip Sears is a really integral part of my team, and he's been working on a project for a while that a lot of realtors have really asked for. I've had multiple agents ask for this. They've probably asked him for something similar. And I realized, this is something that not just agents could use, but that consumers, homeowners, home buyers, sellers, whatever, they could use this as well, because as we know, foundation repairs are so common, especially when buying or sell a home, especially if you're working with FHA, VA, or really bad problems with conventional maybe.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do when they come across a home with foundation issues. They don't have a checklist. They don't know the most important things to check on, secure, verify. And so that's a project Philip has really worked on, spent a lot of time on recently. So I wanted to bring him in studio and let him talk about that. So everybody, Philip Sears is here to share some knowledge.
All right, Philip, how we doing?
Hello, I'm doing great, Mike. Thanks for having me today.
Welcome to the show.
Happy to be here.
So so tell me about this program then.
Yeah, it really just came about through the normal course of doing real estate jobs for people who need foundation repair, and we're trying to be a resource for agents and homeowners, as Jared mentioned, because it can be a frustrating process to have to go through. People may not know exactly where to start in terms of what's the first move if there's a transaction and foundation issues are a part of that.
Sure.
So just kind of address the common problems that we see and the questions that we see from agents all the time, and kind of help point people in the right direction.
Yeah, and look, folks, and I say this all the time, here in Dallas-Fort Worth area in particular, look, we're about 7 million strong nearly, but real estate agent-wise, we got about 15,000 real estate agents, and here's the thing, new real estate agents come on the scene all the time, and they're leaving the scene all the time because the failure rate, honestly, folks, of real estate agents is extremely high. It's a good 80 to 85% after the first year. Out of the 15% that make it past their first year, it's steadily higher as you move on. It's kind of once you make it past 3, 4, 5 years, you're probably going to be in, but not necessarily, because you may not have hit a bubble yet. You may not have hit a change in the market yet. You may not have hit a change where all of a sudden the market changes and you don't know how to stay competitive, to continue to get real estate. Maybe your referrals dry up, this, that, and the other. And so things change with agents all the time. And so the point is, with new agents coming in all the time, this is great because so many agents, they need tools like this.
Sure.
And with foundation repair and foundation discussions being such a big part of Texas in general, and if you're buying a house, these agents need to know it. So this is a great tool for them.
Sure. First-time home buyers especially.
Yeah. And how to navigate it as a seller.
Exactly. As you mentioned, new agents or people who are possibly relocating to this area from out of town. We got lots of transplants with the Toyota plan coming in, and just lots of population growth in general. And the soil conditions that we deal with here in North Texas are pretty unique. There's only about 3 or 4 other places in the entire country that have the same type of soil that we have here, and they present some very specific challenges. The metaphor that I like to use is that the soils of North Texas it's pretty much like building your house on top of a sponge, because that's the way the soil acts. When the weather's wet, it absorbs that moisture and expands, and when the weather dries up, it loses that moisture and contracts. And all that movement caused by that expansion and contraction is a reason why we have so many foundation problems, and it's such a common thing here in DFW. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it's why we experience, those windows that sort of don't open at one time of the season, or the doors that stick in one time of the season, and it's just some precursors potentially to some major issues. And so if you're experiencing those types of things, or have, and it's getting worse, obviously you need to get with Perma, Pier, and see what they can do to take care of you.
Yeah, and it can be hard to know what's normal settlement and what's an actual foundation problem, which is why it's such a good idea, especially if, let's say, for example, you're a home buyer in the option period. You definitely want to, make sure that at the end of that transaction, you're buying a home that has a foundation that's in good order, or you at least know what the foundation is doing if there is a problem. So we're just trying to be a resource, especially to new home buyers, as I mentioned, but really to anybody who's thinking about buying or selling a house. These soil conditions are, kind of just a fact of life here in North Texas. So if you have any questions and you think you might have a foundation issue, please, reach out and give us a call. We do no-cost inspections, so we'll come and give you that expert opinion about whether or not we'd recommend doing repairs at that property. And if a repair does need to be done, we'll provide you with a detailed repair plan and let you know exactly what we would do to repair that house.
Absolutely. And one of the things I love about you guys too is that, you guys pride yourselves in putting back the property the way you guys found it. You guys make very, you take very special care in, like, look, we're coming into your house and we're coming into your yard, and we're going to kind of maybe get into your neighbor's yard a little bit, potentially. And so we want to, just be respectful of the property, because people have landscaping they work very hard on, and, taking care of it, and not just coming in and trashing the whole place and then, all right, we'll see you. And you guys actually really take care of and respect the property and make sure it's, back to the way it was when you leave.
Absolutely. And we take every effort to, if there's a bush that you are very fond of, we're going to try and save that bush. And it is an ordeal. To have somebody come in, tear up your yard, do foundation repair, it can be very invasive. So you're absolutely right. We make every effort to just try and take care of the homeowner from beginning to end and not do anything too invasive that we don't have to do it. Occasionally, we'll have to rip up flooring and do an interior, what's called an interior breakout in the house.
Right.
But we're going to make every effort to not do that if we can help it. So,
Right.
An alternative to that would be potentially tunneling under the house to do that pier placement rather than having to break through the nice wood flooring you might have.
Exactly.
And then, people just hate when that gets torn up.
Yeah, well, that's actually a great point, and that's probably, we can probably talk a whole nother segment just on that point, because a lot of foundation companies will come in and, not look at alternative options,
Sure.
And sometimes there are not alternative options as far as the work that needs to be done on that particular property. Maybe you're going to have to go interior, but there are other options, like you say, tunneling, for example, in the right scenarios for sure. And you guys will look at those and make sure you put the right plan forth to take care of everybody.
Sure, and it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all approach that we take, because there's different soil types, and the conditions of those soil types can make one type of repair method a better option than another type. So it's definitely a very specific to your problem approach that needs to be taken as far as addressing those foundation problems and really taking care of the customer. And first and foremost in that is just listening to them and hearing them out as far as what their concerns are. So
Absolutely.
we take every effort to do that.
Absolutely. Well, folks, hey, we've been talking to Philip and Jared over at Perma Pier Foundation Repair of Texas. By the way, they take care of foundation repair all over the state of Texas. So if you're listening in our outskirts of our listening area, way out in the boonies, hey, they take care of all of Texas. We can take care of you as well. So go to their website, permapier.com, permapier.com. You can connect with Philip and Jared there on the website, or any of the staff there at Perma Pier. They can take care of you. But make sure you mention that you heard it on the radio. And folks, we're going to take a short break. We'll see you in a few.
Glad back. Michael Flynn has a story to tell, but he wants protection from an unjust prosecution. Instead of saying, I want immunity, what was said was he wants protection in the form of immunity for unjust prosecution.
Glenn Beck, 8 till 11 on News and Information, 570 AM, KLIF.
Far from the shores of home, two African-American U.S. Army privates fight for their lives on the battlefronts of World War II. The first Black War correspondents fight to cover the perspective of the black soldier. The novel A Private War, it weaves all this and more into an epic World War II era story of friendship, conflict, religion, and redemption. Get a copy of Private War, a novel by Perry Cockrell today, now available on Amazon.com. And tune in regularly to Inside Real Estate Sundays, 8 to 9 a.m. to hear Perry Cockrell, attorney at law, as he provides expert analysis of the latest and greatest in legal news.
If you have a timeshare, this time of year you're probably thinking about those maintenance fees coming due. Hi, I'm Karen Holloway, owner of Lone Star Transfer, located right here in the DFW area. Before you pay your maintenance fees, call us for a free consultation, 972-722-3166. We'll get you out of your timeshare and put a stop to those maintenance fees, guaranteed. 972-722-3166 or LoneStarTransfer.com.
570 AM, 96.3 HD2. That's where you'll find us. News and Information, KLIF.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
How we doing out there, folks? Welcome back to the show, Inside Real Estate with Mike Kruizinga. The website's InsideRealEstateRadio.com, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. We're going to be talking a little bit of hydrotherapy right now, folks. And for those of you who have mobility issues, we are talking to you. If you know anybody that has a mobility issue, if you're an injured vet, if you've just got a sports injury, maybe you like to play golf, like play a little tennis, we're going to talk some hydrotherapy, folks. So tune in right here, right now. Where we've got the owner of Hydrojet Walk-In Tubs, Randy Addington, with us, and we're going to talk about how his product really is revolutionary and it can really help you with your mobility issues. So how's it going, Randy?
Good morning, Mike. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Good morning. I'm very, very good. So I always like our segments because, we're talking about something that helps people, and as I like to work with partners that do like to help people and have the same mindset, yours is helping people with mobility issues. And so let's kind of get into that a little bit.
Okay. What I'd like to do is take a few minutes this morning and just talk a little bit about the cost it's all over the place what you pay for these tubs. I'm almost embarrassed for my industry that some people charge what they charge. But when I sit down with the client, I like to show them kind of a spreadsheet, so to speak, of, okay, yes, this tub cost X amount of dollars, but what's the cost of doing nothing?
Right.
And we don't try to scare anyone, but when 87% of people over the age of 65 are going to fall, that's darn near everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. So, assuming you're in the 13%, you don't have to listen to this. But if you're one of the 87% that is going to slip and fall, and you have a crystal ball and knew you were going to, wouldn't you want to do something to possibly prevent that?
Right.
And the two top reasons that people end up in a skilled nursing facility, nursing home, is slips and falls and no longer to maintain their hygiene. Well, I have a solution for both of those. But what is the cost of doing nothing? You've got to compare so you can make an educated decision.
Sure.
So what I tell people all the time is this. The statistics are what the statistics are. I'm not trying to scare anyone. But if 87% of people fall from the age of 65 until they depart this world, there's a good chance that you fit in that segment. Now, of those that fall, 25% die within the first year. That's astronomical. So if you got a pretty good chance of falling for sure,
yep,
and you got a 1 in 4 chance of not making it a year after you fall, and then the 3 out of 4 that do survive, they never get back to where they were before the fall. It could be a slip and fall in a bathroom. It could be a broken hip. It could be a knee replacement, anything like that. It's just as we get older, we're not as mobile as we used to be, and we're more at risk.
Yeah, I mean, we lose as we age. We lose bone density. We lose in muscle as well, and we're working longer, but so we're putting off a lot of the fun we were planning for. Maybe we were planning to retire earlier, but if we're not, then what if you don't get to do all those things you wanted to? So let's say, you are going to be in that 87% after 65 that's going to fall. Well, like you say, a quarter of those are going to die, and then the rest of them aren't going to be able to make it back and potentially have to go into assisted living. That absolutely ruins your plans for the golden years of, what all you had planned: traveling, golfing, fishing, hunting, flying, cars is maybe your thing. Whatever your thing is, you're not going to be able to do it. I mean, the stats really are what they are, and it's unreal that's an eventuality. So why would we want to risk that?
And that's where we get into the cost of doing nothing, because there obviously is a cost for trying to maintain your dignity and your independence. Mm-hmm. And you can't, I don't know that you can put a price tag on that, right, although my walk-in tub is going to help you with that, maintaining your dignity and your independence. But if you do nothing, what's the potential cost there? And so what I do is I explain to people and kind of just bring it home to the reality of what can happen. If you were to get to a point where you slip and fell, you were no longer to maintain your hygiene or something like that, had a knee replacement, hip replacement, anything that caused you to go into rehab, there's only two places. Once you lose your independence, your dignity kind of goes out the window with that. There's really only two other places that you can go. One is assisted living. Mm-hmm. That means that you're somewhat mobile and can take care of yourselves. You don't require 24-hour care. The other is a skilled nursing facility, or a nursing home, if you will. Well, assisted living is a lot more expensive than a nursing home, because they're doing meals for you and all those kinds of things. But a nursing home, people don't realize the cost involved with that. They don't think about it. And more people that I talk to are beginning to realize, see, when you go to a nursing home, the first 20 days are covered 100% by Medicare. It doesn't matter who you are. If you've worked and paid in 40 quarters to the Social Security system, then you have Medicare. and Medicare will pay for the first 20 days. It's that day 21 through 80 that'll get you.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a Medicare supplement, then you're going to have a $100 copay. Well, that's $8,000. And it's just for them to take care of you. And you're going to have a nurse on your wing that's going to handle about 25 patients and that sort of thing. But that's another story for another segment.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say you do have a Medicare supplement, and they pick up the tab on that. When you get to day 100, 3 months in to your nursing home stay, you have exhausted your insurance. So your only alternative at that point is private pay, which means until you're indigent and qualify for Medicaid, or you already qualify for Medicaid. Well, most of the people I talk to are hardworking people. They've saved up their money so that they could retire, so they could travel, so they could do all the things they wanted to do when they were working their 40 years to get their gold watch and their pension. And so what happens is when this is all stripped away from them, you've got children, grandchildren that you're wanting to leave an inheritance to, and you're not able to do it because the nursing home takes all that money until you don't have anything left.
Yep.
And the cost of doing nothing is much more expensive than the cost of doing something. And think about it this way. How would you like to pay for my tub 3, 4, 5 times over and not have it and lose your independence and dignity?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's where, and we're not trying to scare anyone. We're just trying to show them the facts. That's all.
No, absolutely. I mean, the facts are the facts, and literally the cost of doing nothing could be absolutely everything. The cost of doing nothing could be everything. Think about that for a second, folks. Again, hitting the statistics, 87% over 65 are going to fall in the bathtub, in the bathroom. Of those, 25% could die. Okay, 25%, I'm sorry, I said could. 25% will, out of those 87% will die. Okay, well, there's death. So doing nothing could be death. You know, does that not scare you? And then the rest are not going to make it back to full functionality. So not to mention if you have to go into one of these facilities, they're going to take every single dime, every single penny they have, and they don't care about it. So that's leaving no inheritance to your loved ones. And, you know, if you're a married couple, what happens if you're the one that has the fall? And now you have ruined all those plans for the golden years for your spouse. How's that going to make you feel?
Yeah, that's absolutely true. When you have a husband and wife both still living and one goes into a nursing home, the other one becomes what's called a community spouse. Well, that community spouse now has all kinds of problems because now they're trying to go out and juggle things so that the nursing home doesn't get what they've worked hard for. So in essence, what ends up happening a lot of times is because of poor preparation, poor planning, that one that doesn't have the issue that had to put the other one in the nursing home ends up suffering financially because they'll take your Social Security check and leave you $60 a month, Mike.
Yeah,
$60. I don't care if you're getting $400 or $4,000 from Social Security. They leave you $60 a month.
Yeah,
and I don't know what they expect you to do with that, but that's all they leave you. And you know, maybe a week or two before, the husband and wife were living large and having a wonderful life, and now she goes to a nursing home, and you know, you take that kind of income away from the spouse that's left at home, that affects them financially as well. So it's a vicious snowball effect.
Yeah, it is a vicious snowball effect. And folks, so the cost of doing nothing, we've said what that is: death, or worse, losing all of your earnings for a lifetime, ruining your spouse's golden years as well as yours. So to stave all of that off, and again, we're not trying to preach that doomsdayers here, but the stats are what they are. So protect yourself, and to do that, Randy's product, for around $10,000 in most cases, fully installed. You get a Hydrojet made in the USA, 100% made in the USA, lowest step in the industry, which means you can get in and out of it very easily. competitors are talking about a 9-inch or more step, or sometimes even stairs to get into the thing. We've got what the product is designed for, which is to help you get in and out to shower or bathe safely. The lowest step in the industry. It's made in the USA. Price point is bang on for right around $10,000 installed, depending on the product that you choose. And absolutely, the warranty is lifetime, not one of those limited, oh, yeah, sure, it's a lifetime, but then when you call them for something, oh, well, sorry, that's not covered. This is a real lifetime warranty, and plus you're going to get to talk to Randy and Sheila, the owners of the company. It's a win-win all around, folks. Don't let any of those things happen to you to ruin your golden years. Give Randy a call. The website's hydrojetwalkintubs.com, hydrojetwalkintubs.com. Check it out. Check out all the information there on the website, and then call Randy directly, and he'll be happy to talk to you. Folks, Inside Real Estate, Mike Kruizinga. We're going to take a short break. See you in a few.
The dishonest media, wishy-washy Republicans, and an intelligence community gone rogue. Grant Stinchfield here. Donald Trump faces great threats from every direction, but there's one threat that no one's talking about. I'll reveal it Monday at 5 on the Stinchfield Report, 5 to 8 p.m., 570 KLIF.
Finally, now Texans have a less expensive, much smarter way to buy electricity. Even better, it's 100% renewable. Today, Tri-Eagle Energy is proud to announce the opportunity for less than 1,000 Texas households to purchase solar energy from our local solar farm for less than $50 per month. We simply send solar energy from our solar farm to the grid, which powers your home or apartment for as low as $49.50 per month. This fixed low rate is guaranteed for the next 5 years, and there's zero installation necessary. The fact is, the U.S. Energy Information Administration predicts Texas electric rates will nearly double over the next 20 years. Call 800-556-2256 today for 100% renewable energy that will protect you from increasing electricity costs. We expect the solar farm to be completely sold out, so call now to secure your personal solar license at 800-556-2256 today. That's 800-556-2256. You can obtain important standardized information that will allow you to compare this product with other offers.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-466-9625. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-466-9625.
Living in the DFW area, expansive clay soil and extreme weather conditions play havoc on homes' foundation. But thankfully, you can turn to Perma Pier Foundation Repair of Texas, who has successfully repaired over 20,000 properties and counting in the DFW area. With the most trusted, tried and true foundation repair methods, trust the professional staff of Perma Pier Foundation Repair to take care of your property, and most repairs are backed by a lifetime transferable warranty. Mention Inside Real Estate Radio when calling Perma Pier at 214-637-1444 or when booking online at permapier.com for your Inside Real Estate Radio discount.
Folks, it's Mike the Realtor here from Inside Real Estate, and if you're not listing your property with me, bottom line is you're leaving money on the table. There are over 15,000 agents here in the DFW area, most of whom are part-time and do a few deals a year. Do you want to trust them to sell your home? I think not. Call Mike the Realtor, the radio realty expert from Inside Real Estate on 570 AM KLIF. Promise you will get to me direct. Go to InsideRealEstateRadio.com. Don't sell your home with just anyone. Go to InsideRealEstateRadio.com and connect with Mike the Realtor.
570 AM, 96.3 HD2. That's where you'll find us. News and information, KLIF.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey folks, and we are back Inside Real Estate. Mike Kruizinga, website InsideRealEstateRadio.com. Time for some more mortgage talk. Terri, how we doing this morning?
Good. How are you, Mike?
I'm good. And as always, don't forget, folks, her website, TerriWaggoner.com, TerriWaggoner.com. So what do we got today?
Well, with the talk of interest rates just keep going up and up and up and up and up, it's still not too late to do a Texas cash out refinance.
Okay.
If you've got a lot of high interest rate credit cards and you just want to be done with them once and for all, we can still do a cash out, Texas cash out, and get rid of those debts or do anything else that you want to do with the money. There's no particular requirements on what you do with the cash that you take out because it's your equity.
Right.
So I wanted to touch base on that. rates, they've gone up a little bit, but they're still we're still okay on some folks and still able to, even save them some money or and allow them to get some cash out and do what they need to do either to their house for any type of rehab they may want to do or pay off debt like we talked.
Yeah, and so in particular, and this works out great for folks who, have got equity in their property.
Right.
But maybe they refinanced at some point, or maybe they're still under the original note terms with the original interest rate. So if they're sitting at 5.5%, 6%, 7%, there's some people out there still sitting at maybe 7.5%, 8%, 8.5%. But they've gotten so far into the loan, they're like, well, I've only got 8 or 10 years left. They want to try to push out, And I get that because, if you've gotten 20 years into the loan and you haven't been paying it off early, you're just going with a straight 30-year term, which a lot of people do.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that. And you've got 8 to 10 years left. Well, they're like, oh, well, should I or should I not? This is still a great option because you guys have other options besides putting them back into a 30, and they could still pull cash out.
And there's, I've talked to a couple of people here in the last week or so that still have ARMs. If you started out with an ARM loan, for a long time, you've been in the good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that rates are going up, so is your ARM.
Yeah.
So you may want to actually look at getting that into a fixed. And like you said, if you've been there for a while and you've got some equity and you want to fix it up, another good option is maybe buy an investment property.
Mm-hmm.
Take that equity out and do something with it that's going to earn you additional income in the future.
Right.
So lots that you can do with that money if you've got some equity in your home.
Yeah, and people don't think about that. They don't think about the money that they have in their home equity-wise as potential money they can use to invest in.
Correct.
So, if you can borrow money against your house for, the amazing interest rates that we have now, which are all pretty much at 5% or lower.
They're still great.
And we still see, some people that can get into, 4%, 3 3/4. It just, everybody's situation is different.
Right.
And of course, you can buy down points, et cetera. But nobody's getting above 5. Most everybody's in the 4s for the most part.
Right.
Some can get a little south of there. But if you can borrow that type of money against your house, then go out and make an investment. In particular, make an investment in real estate, which is going to cash flow you.
Right.
Yeah, it's unreal.
I mean, we talk about it all the time on the show.
Yeah.
That is a great investment to earn you income coming in on a regular basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, so we'll talk a little bit about cash out refinance. You have to have a 620 minimum credit score.
Okay.
We have to be there. In the state of Texas, we have some special provisions that not other states have that kind of kept us safe, I think, a lot when this whole mortgage bubble happened. We didn't experience the losses that other parts of our country experienced, and I think that it has a lot to do with some of the rules and regulations that we have on our mortgages. And one of the things that we have is you have to retain 20% equity in your home. So when you're doing a cash out, you can't take 100% of the equity in that house back out. You have to leave 20%. It's kind of a safeguard for you, and I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So, okay, 620 credit score. We're going to have to look at what's on that credit report. Do you have bankruptcies? Do you have foreclosures? Do you have short sales? Are there any judgments, collections, charge-offs, all that good stuff, just like we talk about on all the different loan programs. But we can take a look and see if there's a way around any issues that you have on your credit. So just because you have something on your credit, don't necessarily say, oh, so they can't help me.
Right.
Give us a call. Let us take a look at it. Let's talk about it. Even if it's not something we can do immediately, it may be something we can do in a short period of time.
Right.
Okay. So your debt ratio, because that's a big thing. And we can take this into consideration too if you're paying off debt. But if you're not paying off debt, you want to go do something else with your money, your debt ratio can go up to a 50% debt to income ratio and still qualify as long as we get our automated approval through the system. Here's a big one. If you have ever done a cash out refinance, this home, once a cash out, always a cash out. Now, that doesn't mean you can't or that you have to take it and you think that they're a lot higher now. Maybe we can do another cash out refinance for you. You don't even necessarily have to take cash out. We can just do a rate and term refi, but a cash out even if you don't take cash.
Right.
Okay. Maximum conventional mortgage loan, 424-100. Like we've talked about before, that's a recent change. As of January 1st, 2017, conforming loan limits, 424-100. So that's our maximum loan amount if you're doing a cash out.
Okay.
Because it's a conforming loan program.
Right.
Okay. Eligible properties, it has to be your homestead. You cannot do a cash out. Can you do a cash out on your? No, I think it has to be your primary residence. So if that's the case, we can do a cash out on it. 1 unit, we can do condos. We can do properties with acreage. If it's 10 acres, it's urban. If it's 20 or plus, it's or 20 under, it's rural development. But we can still do a cash out on those. There's a little bit different requirements, and we just have to look at all of that and make sure we got all that right.
Okay.
Let's see. When you do a cash out refinance, you have to sign what's called a 12-day letter. And what that does is gives you time to think about to make sure what you're doing is really what you want to do. So if you're doing a cash out refinance and your loan officer didn't send you a 12-day letter to sign, you better sign it. You better ask them about it. Or better yet, give me a call. We'll start over.
Right.
But you have to sign that 12-day letter, and you cannot close before 12 days from the day you sign that letter. Okay, so make sure that you're doing that.
And that's a Texas provision.
That's a Texas provision,
That's a
yes.
Texas provision.
Yes.
Yeah, so 12 days to think about it.
12 days to toss it around, yeah. And the funny part is, then once you close, you have another 3 days to think about
right?
it. Yeah,
Another 3 days before the fund.
Right. So when you
15
anytime
all
you
in
do
all.
any type of refinance, cash out or not cash out, when you close on your loan, it actually funds on that 4th day after that because you get 3 days to think about it.
Yeah, 3 more days to think about it.
Just in case you didn't have the 12 days wasn't enough.
I signed it. Give me my money.
But we can roll closing costs in, all of that. You can take that out of your proceeds. There's lots that we can do on a cash out, and it's not too late to do a cash out.
Right.
So give us a call, and we will make sure you fit the program and get you some money so that you can call Mike and buy an investment property.
That's right. Buy an investment property, buy an RV, a boat, motorcycle, do some home improvement.
There you go.
Or just
pay off credit cards.
Yeah, pay off some credit cards.
Christmas, just happened, so
that's true.
Everyone has credit card debt on Christmas, don't they?
Yes, they do. Exactly. No doubt about it. So we'll get you taken care of on that, no problem. And, hey, it doesn't mean that you have to go back. Some people don't know that. We're like, I don't want to go back into a 30-year note again.
Right.
There's a 20, 25, 15, there's plenty of options.
And the 15 rates are great.
Yeah.
There's, we can, if you're going from a 30 to a 15, your rate's probably going down.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Lots of great options for you folks. All you got to do is talk to Terri. All you got to do is talk to Terri.
Call us.
Some random computer is not going to give you the information over the internet. It doesn't give you good stuff, I'm telling you. Go to TerriWaggoner.com. It's her website. Grab her phone number and then give her a shout and talk to her. She'll get you taken care of. Whether it's the Texas cash out, getting cash out of your property, or it's just a typical refinance or purchase of an investment property or a new property. She got you covered. Hey, folks, we're going to take a short break. We'll see you in a few.
The news never stops, and neither do we.
We have to determine, was there any collusion between the campaign and any Russian individuals. I have no doubt the Russians were trying to interfere. What we don't know yet is where any individuals trying to reach back out. We've got to be able to determine that with certainty.
Non-stop coverage. Here, news and information, 570 AM, KLIF.
The Richard Tonihka Insurance Agency in Arlington has nearly unlimited resources when it comes to getting you the best insurance rates and policies for home, auto, and more. As part of the Goosehead Insurance brand, you, the consumer, have the power of choice through the Richard Tonihka Insurance Agency Network. Richard can quote over 20 A-rated companies to find the best fit for you, the best policy at the best price. Call Richard today at 817-286-2002. It's the Richard Tonihka Goosehead Insurance Agency, 817-286-2002.
The Capitol Bar in Fort Worth welcomes rising country star Drake White for a New Faces of Country free concert Thursday night.
Doors open at 6 p.m. with live music starting at 8. And get there early and get in to win VIP passes to meet Drake White. Seating is limited as this is a free concert. It's on a first-come, first-served basis. The Capitol Bar, located just off University Drive at 3017 Morton in Fort Worth. See you for the free New Faces show with Drake White, live at the Capitol Bar in Fort Worth, Thursday night.
With over 3.5 million square feet and 5 DFW locations, Ideal Floors has you covered for all your flooring needs. Whether you're looking for carpet, tile, laminate, wood, or vinyl plank, Ideal Floors has you covered. And with their price match guarantee and their 100% satisfaction guarantee, they are the absolute best in DFW for all your flooring needs. Call Kevin Hamus, the owner of Ideal Floors, at 214-789-0422 or go to idealfloors.com for all your flooring needs.
KLIF News and Information, 570 AM, 96.3 HD2.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
How we doing, folks? We are back. InsideRealEstateRadio.com is the website. Time to get a little insurance talk in with Richard Tonihka. His website, richardtagency.com. richardtagency.com for all of your insurance needs, home, auto, and otherwise. How we doing?
We're doing well. How are you doing today?
Good.
Okay, we're going to get right to it. We're going to talk about the home insurance, what is included in it, and we're talking about an HO3, or basically a primary residence. This is going to be your primary residence because, as you well know, if you're going and you're buying an investment property, there's a different kind of home policy. But this is for your primary home insurance policy. And we're going to talk about the different coverages and what's included in that. And we may get to everything today. We may save some till next week. But talking about that, and the first thing that you always start off with is your dwelling, the dwelling. The dwelling is the replacement cost estimator. You go in and you figure out, okay, you're buying a 2,000 square foot home. Normally, I'm looking at $100, anywhere from $85 to $130 per square foot for a normal home. Normally, what I like to look at is $100 per square foot. So that 2,000 square foot home should have a dwelling amount of $200,000 for the home. That's not saying that it's a nicer home or a worse home or a builder's grade. It's just that's what I normally look at. And then we go in and we actually make sure that if you do have upscale bathrooms, you have an upscale kitchen, and we start adding all that stuff into the policy to make sure that the replacement cost is going to be where it should be for this. But your dwelling is everything that the home, before you ever move one stick of furniture or one stitch of clothing into this house, what you are purchasing is your dwelling. That's all it is. And so it's whatever the frame, the foundation, all that is your dwelling. The second thing that you're looking at is separate structures or other structures. That is everything that is man-made, that is on your property, that is not livable square footage. So if you have a shed in your backyard, if you most of us have a fence surrounding our property, if you have a pool, if you have a deck, if you have a covered porch, all that are separate structures. It's not livable square footage, but it is man-made and it's on your property and it needs to be insured correctly. Normally, the percentage for that is 10%. And when we're talking about percentages, everything is always done on a percentage of your dwelling. So your separate structures or other structures is normally 10%. So that $200,000 home that you have, your other structures is $20,000. That's fantastic if you have a shed and a fence, or you have a playground. If you have a pool, is it enough? Probably not. If you have a detached garage, because your detached garage, that just sounds funny.
Doesn't it?
I'm thinking of Toe Mater, disguised voice. Obviously, I have little kids. But your detached garage, if you have a detached garage, that goes under separate structures. It does not go under your normal dwelling. And so if you've gone in and you've made a 2-car detached garage, you need to make sure that your separate structures are high enough to where if, let's say the winds that we're going to have today and the hail and all that stuff, let's say a tornado comes through. If you've only got out of that $200,000, you've got $20,000 for separate structures. If a tornado comes through and levels that garage, did it cost you more than $20,000 to build that?
Probably, yeah.
And so looking at that, making sure, and this is where we go in and we make sure that we personalize it for you, making sure that your coverage levels are where they should be and need to be to cover your assets. Because at the end of the day, that's what insurance is all about, is protecting your assets.
Right. And that's a good point, because a lot of people think that the separate structures are totally covered. And in particular with the detached garage, that's a great point, because a lot of people do get confused and think that is part of the house because it's a garage. But if it is detached, it's not.
No.
And you could really be in a world of hurt if you don't have it
Absolutely
taken care of properly.
And so let's say lightning comes down and it strikes your pool. I don't know about you, but when we were pricing our pool out, $20,000 isn't going to come close to repairing it and or replacing it.
Right.
So knowing what your risks are and knowing what it's going to cost to repair and replace something is really what we need to find out to make sure that everything's done correctly.
Right. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Hey, folks, for all of your insurance needs, make sure you're getting with Richard. Home, auto, toys, otherwise. And it's just a great time of year with it being storm time. Before the major storms get here, you might want to compare your insurance, because Richard's got the best policies, best rates. He's going to get you taken care of. And make sure you're covered properly. I guarantee you, folks, pretty much everybody out there listening is probably not fully covered the way you think you are. You think you are, but trust me, you're more than likely not, because that's what we always run into.
Absolutely.
Folks, another great segment with Richard. Go to richardtagency.com and catch up with him. Folks, we are back next week, 8 to 9, as always, every week. InsideRealEstateRadio.com is the website. We are out of here. Neither the hosts nor the guests or contributors of the show Inside Real Estate with Mike Kruizinga are attorneys, CPAs, tax advisors, or investment advisors, and are not providing legal advice during the course of the show. If you need professional legal advice or services in any of those categories, please seek the appropriate professional. The host is a licensed real estate agent in Texas with the Chris Arnold Premier Realty Brokerage, a fair housing broker and member of the MLS.